Motorhead Garage, presented by TopCoat, is brought to you by Stage 8 Fasteners, home of the world's best locking header bolt. Locking kits now available for all turbo applications. Go to stage8.com. Iron Bear Customs, your Jeep Wrangler bumper company. Dirt Poor Off-Road, custom-made off-roading accessories made in the USA. And by Tribotex, make your engine last longer.
They say necessity is the mother of invention, but every once in a while, a scientist is willing to accept a happy accident. Pasha, that's exactly what happened when you found Tribotex. What were you researching when you discovered this product?
We was working on artificial joints.
Artificial joints, like hips?
Yes.
So how do you go from that to this?
People used materials that happen to be toxic, and that spurred a lot of innovation in this area. And we started looking at safe materials that slide on each other. And when they slide on each other, the particles don't attach to the surface. So they get removed after time from the interface. So we came up with the concept that when you make a nanoparticle and make it slippery only on one side, but adhesive on another side, grippy, then these particles, when they apply to the surface only by one side, but not by another. And over time, when this process happens, it covers the area in the thick enough coating that compensates for the wear that happened there for decades.
So how did you go from that then to decide, hey, I can use this in a car?
It takes a long time to bring innovation to medical devices market. So when we use the technology in engines, the customers can get benefit way faster.
So it's all about nanoparticles, and effectively they make your car perform better, but they can also actually repair it. Is that correct?
Yes. Slow amount of damage cause excessive vibration that exacerbate the wear farther down the road. When you compensate for the wear early on in the game, your engine not just lasts longer, but rejuvenate to back when it was new.
So you can check out the science behind all of it, and you can find out what it could do for your vehicle. Go to Tribotex.com. You know, whether you are cruising down the highway in the comfort of your automobile or tearing it up on the trails in your ATV, you know that a flat tire can not only be a detriment, it can ruin your entire day, it can ruin your entire weekend. There's a lot of additives out there you can put in your tire that are going to seal it and they're going to inflate it. Those things don't work. In fact, they're going to ruin your tires. But there's something different now. It's called TireJect. Brandon Reagan and his father invented it. They're in upstate New York, and Brandon is joining us here today. Brandon, tell us how TireJect is different from the other stuff that's out there.
Well, TireJect is a much thinner liquid than your traditional gel-based sealants. Most of the stuff you find on the shell, it's a real thick liquid that doesn't flow very nicely in the tire. It's common for it to cause tire balance issues and a whole host of problems that comes along with that. But with TireJect, it's a much thinner liquid. It's made from a liquid rubber, and it allows us to quickly flow around the tire, and it can get full coverage. This allows us to seal not only tread punctures, but bead leaks. And bead leaks are a huge problem today, and no other tire sealant can solve that type of problem.
Now, I was shocked when I was first introduced to the product, because sidewall leaks, that's usually a game over right there.
Yeah, for sidewalls, that's another reason we can reach that area, is because it's a thinner liquid. And all the other sealants out there, it's not possible for them to get there, because you have the rotational momentum of the tire that forces that only into the tread area, and it sticks and stays there. Where TireJect is always that thin flowing liquid, so as the speed of the vehicle is changing, it can easily slosh up onto the sidewalls and cover those types of punctures, and also bead leaks around the bead of the tire.
Now, it's such a thin liquid, I noticed that right off the bat. So how can it seal so well, and how big of a hole does it seal?
So we use liquid rubber, and we also use a couple of different fibers and particles. We use an Aramid fiber, which is a super high strength fiber, and we also use recycled rubber tire particles. And so where air is rushing out of a puncture or a leak, doesn't matter where it is, the fiber and the rubber particles is what's wedging into the puncture, and the liquid rubber is actually what bonds to the rubber of the tire, and it's a permanent seal. And so we have two product lines, one for our automotive and one's for off-road. And automotive side, we take care of up to 1/4 of an inch puncture in the tread. And the off-road product can get up to 3/8 of an inch puncture, and that covers tread, sidewall, any leak that's in the tire. And actually for off-road, we can even do a minor dry rot, which happens for older like lawnmower tires or ATV tires. Anything that's going slower speed, we can do tire dry rot as well.
How long does the seal last once you put TireJect into the tire?
Sure, yeah, the seal is 100% permanent, and that's because of the liquid rubber that we use, and we are the only tire sealant that uses this type of liquid rubber that gives you that permanent seal.
Now, we had the chance to actually use it on a tire, and we punctured it with a couple of screws, took those screws out, tire was flat. Tell us quickly how the process works.
The air is already out of the tire, so our kits, they include a valve core removal tool. So you're simply unthreading the valve core out of the middle of the valve stem. And the kit also includes a hose and cap for our pouch that slides over top of the valve stem. You open the cap and just squeeze the liquid in. After you've dispensed the entire pouch, you put the valve core back in, air the tire back up, and you're on your way. As soon as you drive around and on contact with the sealant, it'll make that permanent seal for your tire.
And now my final question, which is probably the most important question, is TireJect safe for your tires?
Yes, TireJect is 100% safe for your tire and rim. Just because of the materials that we use, they do not cause any kind of corrosion or rust problems at the tire.
Well, I have to tell you, Brandon, we were skeptical at first when we saw it, but once we used it, we were convinced, and I know you folks at home will be convinced too once you see it. Go to TireJect.com. That is all the time we have today for Motorhead Garage. Be sure to tune in next week, and if you miss us in the meantime, check us out on our Facebook page. And you can email Jeff at masterstv.com if you have something you'd like to see on the show. Until next time, we will see you on Motorhead Garage presented by TopCoat. So long.